Hello. There is a Mogman family. They were individuals grouped in together. When I was a kid, all the other boys that I don't know. They like every once in a while, you see people, you know someone. They make confessions about their relationships with girls, and that they lie. Everyone was a liar. See, but this was tied to they use like for example they used what is it called Millwoods Park in Weathersfield, Connecticut. They use parks in Hartford, Connecticut, criminally the same way through time. They had a Cololo family, a DeMoro family, and a Kerr family. Fake sides. Criminal crime, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crime roles with judges. Not what they're pretending. They're pretending lies, and they're recorded with physical delusions regarding other people's behavior too, in reaction to their fake sides. Because they were also recorded confessed crimes with judges retired and standing in New Britain Superior Court. Whole bunch of prosecutors retired and standing, longtime prosecutors, victim predators. These are Justice Department, Washington D.C. Trade Center. These are also criminal uses of the groups with military forms and Marines and the state and the Coast Guard associated with Joshua Julian. Also recorded confessed involved with them with sequence shifts. So there's a Mogman family also recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved with them with a whole bunch of foreign and domestic police forms, interbranch and judges in their police interbranch, and political families and actors involved further with child offenses and elderly offenses, all natures of it, as the people who pretend they have the right to do that, criminally using statutes, criminally using words like crimes, using these are people crimes with Sandy Hook tied to this town. Stay on off the state judicial branch officers criminally involved with them. A Fianza family. They sought me see these are offensive evidence reception, pretended perception predators, fake sides of correlation nature. Now the extended family members of the Cololo, the extended family members of the Joe DeMoro with the same name through time. Even recorded confessed demonstrations before I was born. They're involved with identity thefts, database crimes, drug crimes, evidence crimes with overt criminal enterprises from various nations, and with the people that police the stores, and with prison clicks, and with sequence shifts. For example, there are people, according a whole bunch of people, criminal undercover, actual criminal, with evidence crimes together, federal crimes, mail crime rolls and wrongdoing tied to that. For example, sequence shifts. People from Sandy Hook, their prisoners were recorded and confessed involved with crimes against with against me with areas before they were in there. The principal sex offender was recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes recorded online, and with his campus further with the Britain Superior Court also with federal crimes, pretending passions and emotions about things they acted in the past, fake sides of correlation nature, sequence shift roles. I never knew that Mike Kerr in grammar school. I never had one conversation, never met with him. That was his communicating also, and his recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved crimes with an O'Brien family with the Sandy Hook tied to this area. The houses in my area used for a pattern of crimes preventing mandated law. This is extortion with the identity thefts, the federal evidence crime acts, involvements of people like that. What is the names of the highest ranking family member of the Mogman family? Well, that was I don't know if they are police or what, but these are the people involved with the judges. Please have the judges pick one name in sequence. That's why they're forging and switching names and then pretending behavior tied to that. These are behavior crimes They had crime methods and cases through time. They've been attaching me, they attached me as a kid to fake locations, fake sequences, fake ties to others, forging names, switching names, falsified police reports with police intercities. Also, there are military tied to this because they're using on-off religious spots, and then they use that to facilitate self-value roles with investigations later, where they had to lie now because they pretended to perceive things that they knew were not real. All their sources too, including my extended family member, victim predators, like with this born again Christian church. Now it's a different church. These are involved with foreign domestic through time. You know, these are people because these are various natures of courts and from the former director of the FBI down, and recorded with federal criminals and with overt criminal enterprises, with people that went to each of my schools, facilitated to conjunction with crime acts that tie right back to a stream of people associated with my new and past neighbors, with a Dillon family, an Anna Dillon, a Kevin Dillon, a Sean Dillon. Now these are people with military. They give their, you know, they had not only individuals lying to girls, but they have it doing that as a group in time. These are other natures of people of drug crime. They're using lie progressions where they're keeping an insidious nature of volume with houses located around corners. And then they facilitated that to as a whole bunch of names associated with CCSU that I don't have anything to do with. They need to pretend other because they pretended other already formally into branch. They use them criminally. So now what they need is for me to have differences with other people, which is real, but I can't have those differences because they're not following mandated law. And when you go into court, and they confess and record these things, they forge names, switching names. Then they use that time to attach you to fake behavior, fake words, offensive federal crimes they use. Then they have to go back and pretend other. These are how the judicial branch is maintained criminally foreign influence on off the location of the state judicial branch offices. Businesses at the end of it, house way down with the Oliveri family, of Fiennes family, Weathersfield Pizza, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, a whole bunch of men and women involved with child offenders, criminal uses of their standing fact cheating nature and relationship and uses of my name on off Millwoods Park. And this is also with this recorded, confessed, and demonstrated through time crimes with a former mayor Gold and with a new mayor. Also crimes with the locations on off and the timings of it on off the area on and around Millwoods Park, on and around fact treatments and sequence true. So he's involved with database crimes. I've never had a conversation with him about this one that we're having. That he's involved with federal crimes with child offenders associated various ways, facilitated to it with the state congressional building, locations next to it, nutbag shooting everyone, nutbag legal leaders, nutbag jail leaders, nutbag logic experts, recorded criminally foreign influence, crime methods, natures. They need to hide their natures now. See criminal insidious nature, see correlation natures of Trinity. We're going to have this long obfuscated reveal. We're going to see the recorded organized crime method that had the fact cheating nature, slavery of everyone, and color stuck in there sickly distinctly. So that's all we would remember. They were cultivating this. They were propagating this organized crime nature of a volume that human fact cheating nature has been maintained as in each modern nation, sickly distinctly, to keep out sickly non-distinctly from being discerned. It having known this organized crime method, that everyone would have to blame the real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures, like criminal insidious natures, like predicate acts. They would have to blame, among other things, others themselves, on groups like criminal enterprises, as fact cheating nature already contained slave. Fact, treatment, nature, slave, where and as and how it counts. So this is important how we have recorded former director of the FBI crimes with judges, with uses of people recorded with database crimes, drug crime rules, whole bunch of people associated on off to Route Highway, associated with crimes on off the state judicial branch offices, on off the state prison offices, crimes with databases, sequence shifts, roles, evidence crimes for all natures of federal crimes with the campuses I went to. You know, and then the locate, you know, they have every switching point, like Hartford, Wethersfield, used criminally, not by accident. This is how the value of the ground. I'll gather around. See, they're obfuscating this. What the religions were revealed to Yin Yang, Allah's name, how Islam preserved English, the beginning of the Old Testament and the beginning of the Quran. All kinds of natures of organized crime with fact treatment nature has a whole bunch of nations with psychology, with the phenomena of what is ISIS there. Simultaneously, what is distinctly and non-distinctly groups like the Taliban, groups like associated with the TI, associated with people with a Scalora, associated with CIA, foreign and domestic, with this DeMoro family, with houses in our area associated criminally with the former director of the FBI, but also with federal criminal and their family members' crimes with databases at each place I went to. So they're preventing mandated law and they're needing sequence shifts. Has something to do with people on all parts, on all sides of Wethersfield, of Millwoods Park too. And this is why they had and how they had the various natures of WFSB, WTNH, Fox CT, play softball together there through time. See, this is a straight stream of crime since before the Trade Center attack in it, from Connecticut, intercities, interstates, and worse than interstates, make criminal foreign influence and rolls with that. Because this is what maintains our stewards at the Trade Center attack level, confined to time treatments used all ways, too fast, too slow, criminally. And that's self-value because of self-value, you know, so many hours in a day, the whole world, the same problem. Sickly distinct, everyone bringing other things, others and self. Each modern nation recorded originally and still incapable of predicating things correctly when it comes to treatments of color, when it comes to treatments of identity. You can't follow mandated law. You have sick punk fakes who are reliant upon acting. The only reason they got girls when they were kids, because they were such creeps, they let them fake. They gave them, you know, they had everyone, they had perfect, they have facilitated a whole map of tricks. And they use the drugs for this. They have the best drugs associated with these people with New Britain Superior Court. Now with crimes with child sex offenders, family members of one of them too. And people associated with their drug clicks with that. Crimes with the Leahy family. Crimes with a Dr. Dingleberry, a Dr. Dewberry. Whole bunch of people on off the Samuel Dix house. They implied and demonstrated that there's something tied to that and their roles with the Russians, like a Peruta family I never had anything to do with, and a house across the street from them, and next to them, associated also because it's on off the campus that's next to Goodwin Park, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with crimes with many tied to and as Fred Grouzet. Now he's involved further with the child sex offenders cliques, also crimes with doctors, forged names, switched names, faked conversations with me. These are also people, federal criminals, crimes and cases, and with federal criminals that are that have WFSB hides their life progressions, and with the WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, recorded confessed federal crimes with people from the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, down and up. Military families, two DeMaine brothers and their family, and House recorded confessed involved criminality with a schedule family and with a Phil Cololo. These are people involved with crimes on and off Wesleyan, on and off like criminal justice schools, on and off those locations with the water. And they have like how they have the various natures of overt criminal enterprises associated with a whole bunch of private ones recorded, whole bunch of medical families, all different kinds of takes on. We do this kind of medication, we do this kind of medication. Those kind of people and their family members associated crimes with Middletown, parts on water there, as the ones interbranch here, criminal uses of all the locations, distinctions. The woods near Wintergreen Woods and stuff like that. They further have the roles with the child offenders, federal criminals from off campuses maintain the problem. So now we have forging names and switching names because we have sick fake punks with their kids too. They need to pretend they're just doing it for their kids. They're doing it for the kids. They need to get down. They need to pick one name and sequence at the branch and respond in writing now. This is worse than extortion. We're going to hear about, and they keep the streets this way. Hear many pray. And we're going to what? So they're trying to keep the victims of Trade Center attack from as tools to keep their roles out. More nations than our own, but our own too. So to be able to counter it, we have to show how they're using the statutes. CNN, they don't have the right to quote the statute they say they do. The sequence shifts show it. The perjury rackets recorded show it. The perjury crime methods show it. Follow mandated law now. WFSB, you had no conversation with me. Fix that fake news and let's go. Because before that, you were already recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved as one of the people involved with this Flanzer family, my new and past neighbors, with the child offenders, in a straight line, pretending me. Now I found out what it's about. I didn't understand that. And their confessions all recorded. Fake conversations with me. They communicate things. So get the vaccine. Get this Leahy family, because these are also involved with other criminal uses. They're trying to use the sensibilities of people in the past that they had act with a Joe DeMauro and a Ray Claw pretending fight. I don't know what in other words, they tried to, these are very bad people with offensive evidence reception crimes. We have further criminal uses of overt criminal enterprises, them of the word privacy. If you want privacy, don't make me ferret you out. They have criminal uses roles with this Kerr family, with FBI, and with overt criminal enterprises associated also in collusion with a witness protection program associated with them, confessed further with wire crimes, pretending that he recorded with police equipment me growing marijuana on my porch. Now, the house next to that is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated tied to the police forms with threats against me, with forging names, switching names, with uses of child sex offenders, further rape threats with New Britain Superior Court, also with men and women associated with this Kerr family, also involved with police forms, intercities with insurance companies, with foreign and domestic, and with the roles with Asian families, with medical corruption with them, and with many people associated with this former Mayor Gold, crimes with state police and with forensics with the FBI too, and with private, where they have undercover. They're using that for fact-cheaping nature rackets. Follow mandated law. Get off my name right now. And we have problems because we have more election crimes recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by people pretending to be against it. Because they had crimes through time. It shows they were a state stream of offensive evidence reception, valuing how they have the overt criminal enterprises, private and the interbranch sick criminal enterprises, maintain criminally foreign influence, not legal, but pretending it's legal will still. Religion, fear will have our course. CCSU has many names from my town into cities, facilitated victims, but victim predator fact nature roles with the shootings, with worse than forsaken rights and value of the people of Hartford, Connecticut. For example, distinctly and non-distinctly, of the people of East Hartford, distinctly and non-distinctly. There's an officer who used the name McDonald's, who's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with many with a name. What is it called? Spada also confirmed they're involved. See, these are people, victims, but victims that were made confessions to me about their roles, also confessed by Delafair family, made confessions about them involved with probate courts and with evidence crimes with judges and with overt criminal enterprises associated with them, with a Fred Grisette. And a whole bunch of people associated with Phil Collo. I was never in their location. I never had anything to do with Phil Collo. I had never anything to do with the Delafair brothers. I only know them because they had them walk by me to make it look like I know them. These, in other words, the only context I know them, they couldn't be honest about. Now, these are people involved further with fire departments, with uses of men and women associated with police forms, titles, speaking through other people, with punk fakes from when they were kids who are now men, punk fakes who can't speak, so they're using guns. So they're using problems with fact sheet nature where they're switching names and sequences about serious topics. So then they could say something and make me go back to court again. And they could forge names, switch names, put more fake things into the databases. We have, falsified police reports. We have predicate acts, mail crimes. These are people going to jail for a lot of years. I would never send anyone to jail. Never. New York is going to need the news fixed. The fake news that was pretended legitimate because CNN said they put up, they're confessed and recorded federal crime rules. They put up a statute and said they have the right to do because we don't have the money for it. Now this is tied to what really is what quality of fact sheet nature deals with color. It is full. What cares is not fake passion. What cares is truth that has exception nature too, not denied. In many lie. See means just one way redeems. Just follow mandated law. I'll show you how to attach their predicate acts recorded like mail crimes, wire crimes. These are people putting many people in jail every day after they were already through what they were involved with the child crime, sickly, distinctly, and non-distinctly in Wethersfield and other cities. Further sickly, criminally involved from off campuses and on off them with the campuses of each age in town. All gather around. Who disbelieves? They also recorded with Russians and Russians against Rome with conspiracy theories. You keep facts even on the sequence shifts. You punk fakes. You forged names, switch names into branch. Had no integrity with each case they took. You dirty crook, each branch. You fall. The wall. Now fix the fake news, WFSB. It's way worse while you keep it going and stack names. You recorded how stacking names. This is again involved with CCSU with many natures of crimes, shootings, crimes with body dumping spots, with forensics clips, state police, their kids. Don't play games here. You follow rules. Get me writing now. Since I was a kid, they don't give writing. They do a trick of pretending, oh, that's the charge. And then there's no writing. and they're forging names, switching names, putting fake things in database. You're out of your mind with child offenders. What are my new neighbors' names? Because we're going to do this peacefully. But we're going to have them just see, they can't describe my behavior now without lying. That's why. They know that. That's why they test me to fake yelling. I caught them cold. The behavior crimes are because it's off all the locations, maintain on off uses of sensibilities. They have town meetings involved with some guy, I don't even know him, associated with this whole bunch of people, intercity mayors, retired and standing, associated with the judges, retired and standing, police forms, retired and standing, all rise. Follow mandated law now. Give me a response for why when I calmly ask for get me to get them to one name and sequence it to branch too. Now! Fools.